tears we shed in vain, searching for a dream we have in common. Underneath the scars we are the same, fighting for a cause better than nothing. Don't you think that love could light the way? If we could escape from all the shouting, maybe we could listen for one day. Are we all floating in the ocean? Are we all standing in the rain? Can't you see the world we've built together, shining in the sunshine and rain? Someone has to be the one to show us how to lend a hand when we're afraid. After all, we're in this life together. We all get one try and fade away. Pieces of the history we've written, making what is human we as one. If we share the burden, it gets lighter, lifting all the clouds to show the sun. Are we all floating in the ocean? Are we all standing in the rain? Can't you see the world we've built together, shining in the sunshine and rain? Do you seek the truth when no one dares it?
Hello everyone, how y'all doing? It's been a while. I haven't done a proper stream in 2 weeks now, so this feels weird, but we're here. Oh god. It's also weird because, again, I'm the only one who can make it to actually talk, so that's fun. I'm hoping Elliot will make it to next week's, or someone. Tristan, It's not the easiest thing to talk about an anime for 2 hours straight, which is why, you know, I resign myself to figuring that these won't necessarily end up as 2 hours. Anyway, let me get a sound check. It's not the easiest thing to talk. Okay, we have a sound check, we're good there. Before we get into it, hidden, I mean, I don't get why people always type, like, RIP GG, that doesn't, I mean, I guess in some ways it makes sense, rest in peace, good game, but, either way. So, we're here to talk about Hataraku Maou-sama, or The Devil is a Part-Timer, which, you know, sometimes I feel like putting the actual, thing on. Why is everything I fucking own going haywire right now? My god. My phone's, like, having a heart attack. My, Steam page is having a heart attack. Everything I own is currently dying. It's lovely. Anyways, okay, so, let's get into a nice talk of Hataraku Maou-sama, which is an anime that, let me start off by saying, I legitimately like the dub better than the sub, because, I have seen it both dubbed and subbed, but I decided, you know, that was like months apart from each other. I kind of forgot which one sounded better to me. So, I watched episode 1 dubbed, just this past week watching it, and then I started watching episode 2 subbed, and I didn't like Mao's voice as much as I liked the dubbed one, so I switched back to dubbed, like, 5 minutes into episode 2. So, if you're wondering which one is better, in my opinion, I recommend the dub. I don't know who does Mao's voice acting, but damn is it great. So, anyways, let's get into this like normal. I have a thing set up in front of me here, a sticky note with mostly characters, because I found out that there are 12 main characters to talk about, so this will be fun. But let's talk about the opening for a minute. I love the opening song. It's relatively, what's the word I'm looking for? Memorable to me. I can think straight. Don't mind me, I'm not half asleep, it's fine. Hidden Why Are There 4 Dots? Song. It's yeah. Anyways. Sorry, I was just making sure I still had sound. I don't know why Hidden put 4 dots. Anyways, yeah, I like the opening song. It's pretty memorable to me. Again, this is my 3rd or 4th time seeing the anime, so that might have something to do with it. But I do just generally like the opening song. The opening animation suffers a bit from the same idea as Boku no Hero Academia Season 1, where I think that there's not enough animation, but I still probably a bit more biasedly than I should like the opening to Hataraku Maou-sama more anyway. Like, I don't know. Even though it suffers from the same idea of I don't think there's enough, like, interesting animation per se, I like it a lot more, probably because the animation that is there is cute and fun, and I like it, which is basically this whole anime. It's cute and fun, and I like it, and then it has times when it's just complete badassery, which, when we get to the plot, do Shimonetta. I have the next, like, 3 weeks planned, Hidden, but we can do Shimonetta after that. Wait, Hidden, you've actually seen a whole anime, though? Noise. Which one is Shimonetta? Don't mind me, I'm not gonna go off on a tangent already. I just want to know which one Shimonetta is. Is that— yep, that's it. Yep. I was right. It's one of the most perverted anime you can watch. Anyways, yeah, so opening-wise, I don't know. I feel like I should start rating the openings, and I'd give the Hataraku Maou-sama one a 6. It's just slightly above average to me. Again, that's probably way more biased than it should be, but oh well. Yeah. Yeah, Hidden, I know the memes of Shimonetta. It's bad. It's almost as bad as in one of the Monogatari series. The chick gets off from the guy brushing her teeth. That's a thing. Because anime. Which, you know, Hidden, I would like to point out, you say that all anime just devolves into sex jokes. There aren't that many in Hataraku Maou-sama. They're, like, real quick before we get into the characters, the only real, like, ecchi jokes there are the fact that they make fun of Emi for having having a flat chest, while Chiho has, like, frickin' giant chest. But that's about it. Ain't really much going on there. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on to talk about characters, because once I realized that there were 12 of them, and, wait, Splatoon is getting an anime? Oh yes, please. I want to witness this, because that could either go amazingly well, or it could become a fucking train wreck in 5 minutes. So that'll be fun. Also, guys, I will point out that, during times of this... nice, Hidden. During the time of this anime talk, I will probably end up mentioning the light novels a lot, because they're about 50 times ahead of where the anime was. the anime got through 2 light novels. I'm through 6 of them, because those are the ones that are translated right now. I think 7 is translated right now, but I haven't bought it yet. But yeah. What? Splatoon had a manga? The fuck? But, yeah, so I'll probably end up saying a lot of stuff about the light novels while I'm talking about this, both purposefully and accidentally. So, yeah. Anyways, let's get into the characters. So, I put it in what I consider the order of, like, most appearances and most important to, or, well, from least appearance and least important to most appearances and most important. So, you know, it has a bit of a structure. So let's talk about Mikishiba. So, well, I guess I can kind of say a little bit. She appears about 1 time as an actual character, and then she sends letters and shit to the, apartment complex, basically. She's the landlord of it. Though okay, no, she appears twice in the show as an actual character, because one of the interesting things about her is that she knows somehow, for some reason that I can't tell you, even, like, I can't tell you because I don't particularly know, even 6 light novels in, but it's implied that she has some... Okay, have fun, Hidden. Come back when you're done watching that episode and tell me how it was, man. But, as far as, it's implied, she at least knows about Ente Isla, because, in the anime, she does bring up, like, sonar pulses in the gate, I think, at one point. I'm not positive, but I think. So, yeah. Don't worry, even in the books, there's no explanation to her at all. Also, I feel like I can't say a fucking S or an X to save my life today. I'm not positive, but I think. So, yeah. Hold on. Don't worry, even in the books, there's no explanation to... Yeah, they just sound weird today, and I don't know why. Anyways, yeah, I don't know what else to say about Mikishiba. She's, relatively... just kind of there, and I don't know why. I don't think anyone knows why. She exists as a character for some reason. Anyways, let's talk about Albert, who, you don't get much of in the anime. The only reason I put him above Mikishiba is because he actually has some use somewhere in the show. So, Albert is from Ente Isla. He came to Earth, with Emeralda following Emmy and Satan. And, well, Amelia, I guess, if I'm gonna call, Mao Satan. So, yeah. Anyways, he came over, I'm trying to think of what all I can say about him, because at this point, a lot of the stuff about him is both from the books and the anime, and I don't remember which one's which. But, let me think. He came over. I know the one thing he did was, upon Emeralda's request, he did look into why, Alciel wanted to take a vacation, and she was like, yep, he hasn't come back to Ente Isla, so who the fuck knows? But, I don't know. I don't know what all there is to be said about Albert. He appears. That's about it. It's a bit more interesting in the light novels. They actually have, like, conversations in the room instead of just a quick 2-minute meeting where everyone's like, cool, and then they're gone. Yeah. Hard to say much about him, so let's move on to Emeralda. Okay, Emeralda is second best waifu in the show, following, Emmy. Emmy is best waifu of all anime, fucking fight me. But, Emeralda is... I'm trying to think, what all can I say about her that isn't... I don't want to, like, give too much stuff from the book, because if you are reading it or decide you want to read it, I don't want to spoil too much about it, because it's way the fuck farther than the anime. But, she's the head of something. I don't remember what. I don't know, she's pretty famous, though, I guess. Kind of. She has a lot of influence in Ente Isla. That's what I'm looking for. She's incredibly smart from what you can surmise about her, and she is a relatively close friend to Emmy, it seems like. Like, both from the anime you can kind of get that, and then in the books you get it even better. It seems like the two know each other pretty well. The one fun thing is that she went to Earth and then she came back and all she has is, like, Japanese snacks. She has a cell phone now, which the hilarious part is, in the anime it doesn't explain it. Like, how does the cell phone work in a place that has no signal? So, I'll explain it real quick from the book, because it's just a random thing, but, so, you know how Albert... Oh, here's something that I could have said about Albert. He was sending idea links which were causing the earthquakes. Yeah, there we go. But, yeah. So the way that phone thing works, even though they are in literally different dimensions, or different worlds, whatever one, I think it's different dimensions, but, yeah, Emmy and, Emeralda just use it as a idea link, which is fun. No idea why they never mentioned that. They're just like, she has a phone now, it works. No one knows why. So, good job, anime. I feel like at some point I should turn the webcam on for these, because I do make a lot of hand gestures, but then I never care enough to. But yeah. Though, the most important thing that Emeralda does in the show is she produces and sends to Emmy, the Holy Beton Beta, which I don't know which one it wants. I don't know if it wants Holy Beton or Holy Beton, cause, but either way, she sends that to Emmy, so she can replenish wrong word. Her celestial force. There we go. Thinking too far ahead. I'm trying to think, what else does Emeralda do in the show? Not much. Her and Albert just kind of appear for reasons unbeknownst to anyone, but, you know, yeah. Alright, moving on. Don't know what else to say about Emeralda. So let's move on to Kisaki, who I know a lot more about from the books than you ever learn in the show. What you learn in the show is that she's the manager of the Hatagaya McDonald, and that's about it. That's literally about it. I don't actually know why I put her above Emeralda and Albert. Probably because I was remembering the books, where you learn quite a bit about her, actually, and, like, her motivations and stuff, which is a lot more interesting than what you get in the anime, which is, like, she can scare people because she's intimidating, but she's also, apparently, according to, Sariel, pretty damn cute. I really shouldn't have put her above Emeralda and Albert, but I did, so whoops. I think that one was more also just screen time in total. Again, I don't particularly want to say too much from the books, just because, if you decide you want to read them, that's actually, like, the main part of one of the books. I think it's 5 or 6 that it's a main part of, but, yeah. So, moving on, how about we talk about Olba Meyer, who, I love the way that this presents, like, the church. It's very interesting, because, they're a bunch of greedy assholes, like an actual church in that time would be. They're just like, we rule this place, if you don't like it, fuck you. We rule it, we're gonna keep ruling it, and we're not gonna let you try to get rid of our rule over it. Which, you know, historically speaking, sounds about how something like that would go, where the church would just be like, fuck you, we have control, you can't, no, stop it, you know? Anyways, yeah, and Olba's just, like, king douche in the church. Let's see, he teams up with a demon. Keep in mind, this is a man who is part of the church, which, you learn very quickly in this show that the church is not good, nor is heaven particularly. Honestly, from reading the books, you would almost think that in some ways, the demons are the, like, best, people in a way. Heaven's a bit fucked up in this. In the books, it's all a mess. It's a whole fucking mess. In the anime, you don't hear too much about it, except that you know that Sariel's from there, and he's fucked up. Yeah, and the church ain't much better. Anyways, Olba, yeah, teams up with Lucifer, is apparently really strong for some reason that I can't quite explain. You know, in the fight with Sariel in, what, is it episode 11 or 12 that he does it, he hits Alciel, and my god, does it do some damage. Like, old man got an arm, dude. Just, but, yeah, he also resorts to using a gun and thievery to increase the chaos in the world so that Lucifer can get more magic. Again, this is a man from the church, helping a demon get magic. So yeah, that's the thing. I don't know, he's just kind of class 1 douche. I don't know what else to particularly say about Olba. He's a very corrupt man. So, you know, let's move on to Sariel, or Mitsuki Sarue, as he's known in Japan. Sariel is his name from heaven. He is an archangel. Is it? I'm pretty sure he's an archangel. What? It's over? That seems real quick, Hidden. How was it? But anyway, yeah, Sariel is an archangel, I'm pretty sure, if I remember it right, who has a very unique ability, well, 2 very unique abilities. One is, I'm pretty sure in the book they call it the Evil Eye of the Fallen, and what it is that purple beam he shoots out from his eyes that diminishes or blocks or disrupts or destroys, I don't remember the correct term, it fucks with your celestial force. So, yeah. That's how he's able to minimize the... Shit, what do they call that sword that Amelia uses? I don't remember, but either way, that's how he manages to diminish that from her when she's trying to fight him. Yeah. It was entirely in Japanese, so you couldn't understand what they said. Did it not have, subtitles hidden? Anyways, I don't know. Most of the fact that, like, most of what you get from Sariel, you get 2 things from Sariel, which, one is that you get a glimpse into how fucked up the archangels of heaven in Entei Isla are. He's very, like... Wait, and it wasn't full-out animation, it was just... Wow. Alright then, Hidden. That sounds... kind of crappy. but, you know, I'll give it a try at some point. Anyways, yeah, most of what you get from Sadiel in this is that heaven is not the greatest place on Earth, or in death, because the angels are a bit fucking messed up, dude. Sadiel is, you know, a bit perverted. He loves women a lot. He's also just very, like, what's the word I'm looking for here? He will do anything to accomplish an objective, even though he, as an angel, should be the embodiment of good. He will not care if it results into killing people, or if it results in the destruction of a word, or... Hidden, what do you mean, careless whisper? What? But, I just said in the destruction of a word, didn't I? I meant a world. Like, he comes down and he's like, look, I'm getting that holy silver from you. Fuck you. I will take out all of Japan if need be. You're giving it to me. I don't know. It's weird. His whole character is just a bit sleazy and odd, which is kind of the point. But, you know, when he's working as Mitsuke Sarue, at SFC, I almost said KFC on accident. Whoops. SFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, because couldn't get the rights to call it Kentucky Fried Chicken, probably. Anyways, or it would have cost way too much money. So, yeah. Anyways, when he's working over there, you know, he has, part of it is because he tried to rob Amelia of the, Holy Silver, and that didn't go well. So, oh, I remember Emmy's sword name. It's the Better Half, which is weird. Because, I'll explain that once I get to Emmy. Anyways, yeah, you know, he tried robbing her and he got those... What looked like oranges in the anime were actually, again, this was explained a hell of a lot better in the book, because it just kind of looked like the guy threw oranges at, Sarue. And no, he threw, like a special kind of paintball type of thing at him, which, it's hard to get that paint off, and it has a very distinct scent, so that, you know, the police would notice if someone got hit with it, which, you know, that's why why it said, like, he wore so much fucking cologne that it was ridiculous, and he had the, sunglasses on. That's also why, when he takes them off, he has the orange ring around his, right eye? So, yeah. Anyways, I'm trying to think of what all else can be said about Sadiel. He, again, a lot more interesting in the book, because they expand on him a bit more, like, a lot more, as a character. I'll just say, once he meets Kisaki, he just stops giving a fuck about everything else, basically. It's real weird. So, yeah, that's the thing. Anyways, continuing on, let's talk about someone who kind of was cooperative with him for about 5 minutes. Suzuno Kamazuki, or Crestia Bell, as she's known in Ente Isla. There's a lot that can be said about Suzuno, because she actually had quite a bit of a, backstory put into the anime, which is weird compared to, like... When I get to Mao, I'm going to tell you the backstory of Mao, even though it's never once mentioned in the anime. It's all in the books, but I'm gonna tell you it anyway, because it's actually pretty fucking cool. Anyways, as far as it goes for Suzuno, she definitely was, at this point, was an assassin for the Church and the Inquisition, because, again, the Church is a very corrupt being of power that just goes, yeah, we own this, fuck you if you don't agree with us, we will literally assassinate you. And she was the one who did it, even though she never particularly wanted to. It was just kind of the job that she got given. So she went along with it. But, yeah. What all can we say? Oh, yeah, she moves in next door to, Ashia and Mao and, Urushihara. I'm going to switch between their demon, like their Anti-Uslan and Japanese names so much throughout this, because it's very, like, just interchangeable to me. It doesn't seem to pose much of a problem. Like, for Sariel, though, I never call him Sarue. Like, hardly ever. It's always Sariel. For Suzuno, though, I almost never call her Crestia Bell. It's always Suzuno, because that is the majority of the time you hear her name. For Sariel, it's usually Sariel, even after, like, even in the books after that, I remember it being Sariel a hell of a lot more than I remember it being Sarue. Anyways, again, this is just gonna be tangents on tangents because of the books, dude. Yeah, so as far as Suzuno goes, she moved in next door to Mao and all them, and just instantly started cooking for him, which I like. Again, yeah, I'll wait till I get to Mao. That'll be a lot more important then, I guess. But yeah, she moves in. She thinks she's being discreet, but Mao ain't that stupid. Like, he's not that bad at noticing things. But again, there's one mention of what she's actually doing when she's cooking for them in the anime. A passing line from Lucifer in episode, like, 11, or whatever, when Olba gets out of the hospital, and it shows Lucifer going to get food, and he opens it, and he goes, it smells a little celestial forcey, and he literally says, YOLO. Like, perfect. He legitimately just says YOLO, which is great, but, yeah. Anyways, he just goes, yeah, it's a little celestial forcey. What she's doing, what Suzuno is doing when she's cooking for them, is she's putting celestial force into it to try to poison them. It didn't work for a damn, but she tried. Okay, correction. It probably worked a bit on Ashia, because if I remember right, that is kind of why he got so sick. But, yeah. For all intents and purposes, it did fuck all to him. Yeah, because in the books it says how she was actually doing that, like, putting celestial force into the food that she's making to try to poison him, and it just did nothing at all. But, yeah. So, once you actually get the proper introduction to... Once the rest of the people get the proper introduction to her being Anti-Uslan, she kind of changes, where she goes from being, like, the nice neighbor person to, you know, fuck you, I'm going to kill Mao. And then, you know, that results in the scene with, Chiho, Emi, and her all walking back from the bazaar, and then her, like, freaking out and going, look, we need to kill him. Chiho, I want to erase your memory of all of us, because you shouldn't know any of this. Fuck everything, right? And then, even though it wasn't particularly her favorite idea, that's what happened. Again, this is the same type of thing as No Game, No Life. There's a lot of characters, but, a lot of it just devolves into plot. So, yeah, same thing as that. Anyways, you know, she's going through that, and then she goes to fight Mao after that whole fiasco, and then Sariel taking Chiho up to the top of the government building, and that whole fucking fiasco. And, you know, she goes to fight Mao, and she just doesn't. Like, She hits him literally one time, and that's it. And the only reason she hit him is because he couldn't dodge. And, I mean, you can kind of infer that she didn't even really hit him because he would be dead, and he's not. So, yeah. But, you know, it goes through that, and she goes, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not fighting for the corrupt bullshittery of the church anymore. I'm gonna fight for me, because fuck you. Yeah. Like, the biggest actual character arc, in a way, of the whole show. Outside of Satan going, or Mao, or whatever, going from being literally the Demon King to a stand-up human being. But that's literally the whole point of the show, so I would damn well hope he has the best character arc in that sense, and it's not even an arc, it is literally got from point A to point B in about 5 seconds in both the anime and the book. So, yeah. Anyways, I don't know what else much to say about Suzuno, so let's move on to Urushihara, or Lucifer, who is actually like what you hear Lucifer being as when people actually talk religiously. They mention, like, when he's talking to Olba, he's like, I can get you back into heaven. When they first show up, Mao goes, oh, you promised him he could get back into heaven? Yeah, he's actually a fallen archangel. That is what Lucifer is. That's why he has the black wings. He is an actual fallen archangel, which is fun. You know, I like how some things are actually, like, realistically religious to what we know, and then some things aren't. Also, keep in mind, I'm not a particularly religious person. I don't go to church or anything, so yeah. But, you know, the whole show is based in some form around religion, so yeah. But it's fine. Anyways, Lucifer is probably, like, one of my favorite characters in the show, just because he's such a fucking, like, teenager, essentially. I love the whole, like, little thing between Mao, Ashia, and Urushihara. It's great. But, you know, when they show Lucifer, he's actually pretty damn strong. He is a demon general. He's a hell of a lot stronger than Olba by, like, literally fucking anything. And he's pretty damn strong, from what you can gather. But, you know, when he comes to Earth, he's still relatively demonic in a way, or corrupt in a way. He does not give a fuck about anything. He's like, I can destroy everything, I just need magic, I can create panic anywhere. I can create panic in Chiho by taking her and everything. Like, he did not give a single fuck. No fucks were given in that whole time. And then he gets taken in by Mao after Mao defeats him in literally my favorite part of the show. Just the one punch, man. We'll get to that in the plot, but that is the one thing that I remember incredibly vividly from both the anime and the books. A lot of the stuff in the books I remember is well after the anime, and then I remember everything from the anime and the books then too, but not nearly as much as I remember a lot of the stuff after the anime in the books, because that's where all the actual interesting shit happens. Yeah. Anyways, continuing on. Yeah, once Lucifer gets taken in, he just becomes the, like, hermit teenager, computer aficionado stereotype. It's fucking great. I also love how well he knows how to use computers and stuff, even though there is no reason that he should know how to do that. At all. Like, you can gather that Emmy's pretty good with technology and everything, but then why the hell is Lucifer able to hack things? beyond my knowledge, but I mean, plot convenience is the technical answer, but it's also kind of cool, because it just makes him the stereotype hermit-like teenager that lives in a basement on a computer the whole time. Yeah. Cue the jokes of that's what I am, and you're not wrong. Anyways, yeah, it's great. And I also love how much of a, like, I don't fucking care thing they give him. And he is the literal comic relief of the show. That is part of his point. And you know what I know a lot of people are gonna tell me? Why do you like him more than Mineta, who is comic relief in Boku no Hero Academia? Because Lucifer's fucking useful. That is the reason why. He is good with technology. He's also just actually funny, in a way. Like, his I don't give a fuck attitude is funny. Especially compared to, like, Mao, who gives way too many fucks about literally everything in the human world. He's like, dude, I need to do all of this stuff and get everything done, and it's great. But, anyways, yeah. I don't know. I like Lucifer's character. It's great. Even in the books, they never make him anything different. He's always just that. He always is Urushihara. He is the guy who gives no fucks, sits on the computer all day, wastes all the time ever, never helps with anything. At least so far, you know. But yeah, it's kind of great. So with that, how about we move on to Chiho? Chiho is, I can definitely tell you that, according to most of the people who watch this, is probably best waifu. I tend to disagree, but that's my opinion. Anyways, Chiho, you know, 16-year-old high schooler, very cute, very, like, energetic, very, what's, like, very youthful, I guess? I don't know what the correct word is, but, you know, you get the feeling that she's a normal high schooler, especially when they show her in her high school for 5 seconds. But yeah, she has a huge crush on Mao that she does eventually acknowledge to him, but before that, I don't think Mao knew, but I'm also not positive. Hard to say. It never says in either of the book, like in either the book or the anime, if he was aware before she told him. He is aware after she tells him. They acknowledge that in the anime as well as the books. He's like, well, yeah, I'm not dumb enough to just overlook what she literally flat out told me, but I don't necessarily know if he knew before then. Anyways, in the show, Chiho doesn't have a ton of use, which it's the same way in the first 2 books, which is what this show covers. Outside of that being, like, half of the reason that Mao goes to actually do anything in the second half of the show, like, half of the reason he goes to fight Sariel and everything, you know, she's just kind of there. She's a good friend of him. She's a co-worker with him. Just a nice little, like, relationship partner in a way. Not like, intimate relationship partner, but, like, a good friend. Wants to be a relationship partner with him, but, you know, that yet to be seen. And, from the books and from what I've looked into, for the books that aren't translated yet, I don't think it's gonna happen. Poor Chi. Chi just can't win that one. But, I really wish they would make a second season, or that they would have taken the first season a bit farther. Because I'm telling you, everything interesting is after season 1. Or, like, after the first 2 books. The first 2 books are aren't bad. Neither is the anime. I love the anime. I love the first two books, but oh my god, everything that happens after that is like 10 times more interesting. Um, and here's how well when we get to the, I don't know. I kind of want to explain it now. Fuck it. We know me. I go on tangents all the time. Let me explain this. The book is written so well with just enough pictures of things. I remembered a whole book as being an episode in the anime, and it's not. That's how well, like, the book is written in a way. I'm sure some people would beg to disagree, but damn well if it didn't paint the picture in my head well enough, I can still visualize, like, the whole actions that take place in the, like, in my mind's eye type of thing. I hate saying that, but you know what I mean, like, where you can visualize something, you, like, see it, but you can't see it. Maybe I'm just crazy, I don't know. Either way, the books are written really well to the point where I literally remember something being part of the anime, and it's not, which confused the hell out of me for the last episode, because I was like, oh, this must be it. No, it's not. That is not it at all. So, yeah, it was fun. Anyways, continuing back on. Where was I? Talking about chi for reasons that... I don't remember where I was. Whoops. Anyways, let's see, what all have I said about chi? Yeah, she's there. In the books, though, she becomes so much more, like, important after book 2. Like, almost directly after book 2. The anime ends, literally, like, right before she becomes a bit more important to, like, the battles and to what's actually going on and everything, outside of her being the only human who knows. But, yeah. Okay, moving on. You know what? I'm gonna switch who I'm talking about here, because I'd rather talk about Emmy and Mao, like, right after one another. So we'll talk about Ashia. Ashia is just, like, Housewife 101 in a way? I don't know, stereotypical housewife, I guess? Except that he's a guy and a servant to Mao in Ente Isla, but then basically becomes his mum. Yep. That's all of Ashia right there, in a sense. He's super frugal about his money use. He tries to make Mao actually be healthy. He tries to run the house like it should be run. And, yeah, we see how well that works. He is way too dedicated to Mao. Like, there is some level of what the fuck to it. Because, trust me, it's not just in the show. It's all over the books, too. He is, like, dedicated as fuck to Mao. It's real weird. Like, even with Lucifer, I think in the books, there's something about him always being a little bit more rogue. Even the other demon generals and everything. Yes, they all worked for Mao. They all respected Mao and everything, but, like, Ashia was just another fucking level, dude. It's so weird. But, you know, it works. He cares a lot about what he's doing and everything, so good for him, I guess? I don't know. You never really see him fight in the anime, and I think you only witness him fight in the book, like, once. He doesn't do a whole lot, and I don't, I do not get why. I mean, yeah, I guess the comic relief type of part is that he's always late to everything, but even when he's not late to things particularly, he never ends up doing anything, and it's really weird. I'm specifically remembering the same book that I said I thought was an anime episode in the anime, and it wasn't. And I don't get like, why he didn't do anything then either, but oh well. I don't know, it's hard to say too much about Ashia. Ashia is Ashia. That's it. Or LCL, whatever. If you can't tell, like, Lucifer, I always call Lucifer, for the most part. I use Urushihara sometimes, but for LCL, it's always Ashia. And for Mao, it's generally Mao, though I use Satan too. But, yeah. And Emmy and Amelia, she literally just took off the last 3 letters of her name. Of course I can use either one there. But, yeah. Don't know what else to say about Ashia as of the moment. So, continuing on. Let's talk about Best Waifu. Let's talk about Emmy. Emmy is fucking great. You know, she's the hero. She is actually the embodiment of good in that world. Like, in Entei and everything. And it's so great, because you meet her, and she's just, like, I'm not even gonna call it corrupt. Like, she at least has a reason to hate Mao. But, it's so weird. Because she's just so fucking, like, die, goddammit, to him. But then to everyone else, she's, like, perfectly nice most of the time. It's great. I love Emmy's character so much. She is Best Waifu. Fucking Fight Me 2017. Yeah. That might be the most cringy internet thing I've said so far, but go with it. Anyways, yeah, so she's the hero in Entei Isla, the hero Emilia Chestina, and then she comes to Earth as Emi Yusa by following Mao and Ashia through the gate, which, when we get to the plot, that will explain all that shit, but, again, just trying to think of what all I can say about her right now. She is very conflicted about what she thinks of Mao, which, let me tell ya, in the anime, you get about 5 seconds of. Most of the time when you see her, it's usually like, you know, I want to kill you, fuck you type of thing, even though it seems very friendly, which it is. It, like, it doesn't hold a fucking candle to the flame of the books with that. It's ridiculous, dude. Oh my god. The books make Emmy so much more, like, not particularly one-sided. I mean, the anime does a good job of not making her one-dimensional. That's what I meant to say, not one-sided. You know, just through her interactions with other people besides Mao, but in the book, even her interactions with Mao, well, in the books, I feel like I keep saying book like there's one. I own 6 of them. There are currently 17 out written right now, though I think 8 is being translated, 7 is translated, 8 is being translated, and will come out, like, December or something stupid, and then, you know, the rest of them are all in Japanese. But anyways, yeah, as far as it goes with Emmy, in the books, there's a whole nother level to her. Same with Mao, which, again, when I talk about Mao, I'm telling you his backstory, and, like, tune out if you don't want to hear stuff from the books, but it's really interesting, and I hate that they don't say a damn thing about it in the show. Anyways, Emmy's backstory is said in the show, and that's that when she was a kid in Entei Isla, keep in mind, Emmy is only 17 or 18, I think? I looked it up on the wiki, and it was either 17 or 18, so she's not that old. She's literally the same age as me, or a year older, or whatever, but, you know, she appears very, like, she appears older, right? Part of that is just in the way she dresses in some ways, because she still has a very, I guess you could call it childish, emotional state in a way. You know, anyone who is a teenager or has been a teenager knows what I mean, where, like, you're very conflicted most of the time. That is Emmy 90% of the time. Anyways, her backstory is when she's a kid in Ente Isla, because, again, sidetrack, um, she gets taken away from her father by the church, and you find out that she's half angel, half human. What they don't show you, what they allude to a little bit, is that her father dies. What happened, again, if you don't want to hear about it, stuff in the books, tune out, I guess, because I don't think they said it in the anime, but I mean, you know her father's dead, so the reason why does not particularly change anything. So in Mao's conquest to take over Ente Isla, he burned that whole village down. Like, that whole continent was up in flames, if I remember right. I know that her village specifically burned down, because when she finished her training, she went back there, and it was gone, along with everything she knew and everything she cared about. That's why she hates Mao. I honestly believe, mostly because it's pretty much stated, if that wasn't, like, what happened, she would be a lot more, I'm trying to think of the word, like, she's okay with Mao now, right? Like, you can tell that she is very friendly towards him. She doesn't actually hate him or anything. In the books, she very much likes him. Like, she likes him, and one of the few things that actually keeps her from doing anything, in my opinion, is that. And even that starts to dwindle at some point. Because I think something in the books is like, I might be wrong, look it up if you want, but if I remember right, I don't think that Mao it was Lucifer who burned the village down, if I remember right, and I don't think Mao particularly, like, knew. Which, that sends her into quite the, like, distressed state in the books. But anyways, yeah. Where was I? I don't know. What all else can I say about Emmy? I don't know. She's very unique in a way. Anyways, continuing on, let's go to Mao, because at some point I would like to get to the plot of the show. In my normal fashion, it's been an hour and I'm still talking about characters, so good job me. Anyways, let's talk about Sadao Mao. Main character, Demon Lord, literally Satan. He is awesome. Again, I think the dubbed voice does him much better justice than the sub voice does. The sub was not, like, the sub isn't bad, but I honestly believe that the dub is better 90% just because of Mao. It really captures his, like, personality that's given to him and everything, but either way. Continuing on from that, Mao is, like, he is the devil, he is Satan, he is the Demon Lord, and he comes to Earth and is actually a stand-up human being. And what you kind of gather is that he actually cares about the humans. He likes Earth. He does not hate people. And this is why I'm going to talk about his backstory. It's not quite... When they talk about him in the anime, and when they talk about him in the first two books and everything, he is very much shown as being the ruler of something evil, though no one knows him during that time. No one's, like, actually properly talked to him or anything. He just is the ruler of the demon world. He's the reason that Ente Isla is in distress. He's the reason that the demons are attacking and everything. but it's actually for a very different reason than what you would think. Here is actually something that I would consider a decent spoiler in the light novels. If you don't want to hear it, tune out, skip around a little bit until you find out where I'm gonna stop talking about it, because I'm not sure how long it'll take. But I'm gonna tell you the backstory of Mao, which is very... like, it's ingrained into me just because it's a good backstory for a character that is the ruler of an evil place. He's not particularly evil himself. He is a demon, but he is not particularly evil. The reason he came into power, and the reason he's trying to take over Ente Isla and everything, is that as a child, he was just kind of thrown out into the world with the name Satan. In the demon realm, the name Satan implies that you were, like, it's a very common demonic name, in Ente Isla, and, when he's thrown out there, he's a kid. He can't do much. He can't really fight anything. He's out in this world that has no order, and this is a very important part. The demon realm had no order before Mao took over. The demon realm was a fucking mess. And, like, he would sit there as a kid and just cry because he didn't know what the fuck to do. He couldn't do anything. And what happened was, an angel who, may and may not, I don't know if it was stated to be or not to be, but may or may not have been Emmy's mum. Like, Emmy's mum is an angel. It might have been her. I think it's her. Not positive. Actually, like, helped Mao. An angel helped a demon. I'm gonna look this up because I don't want to get this wrong. Hataraku Maou-sama, Emmy. One sec. Let me look this up. I need to find Emmy's mum. Yes, Satan. Ente Isla. Lila. Lila's her mum. That's apparently Lila. Cool. She's kind of cute. Raida. Let's see. Does it tell me what this is? Lila's goal is to keep the tree of... yeah, cool. Yes. 300 years ago, Lila, Emmy's mom, rescued Satan from the brink of death. He was literally bleeding out, dying, just crying like he couldn't do anything. He was a child. She saved him because he was crying. The demons are, again, this is why I looked it up. I didn't want to get things too wrong. Some things will be a little bit messed up because memory, from the books. It's been about half a year or so since I've read them. Anyways, yeah, she'd never seen a demon cry, so she saved Mao, who was crying because he didn't want to die. He didn't want, like, to see the demon realm in such a fucking mess. It was just a wreck. And, again, I don't know why none of this is in the anime. This is fucking important to Mao as a character. Like, this is a very important thing, and it shows that, yes, he is the Lord of all demons, but he's never been evil. He's never particularly wanted to destroy everything. He's never, like... he's never particularly wanted to murder every human that ever lived, right? He was saved by Lila, and he grew up, got stronger, got notoriety in the demon realm, got, like, powerful enough to where he literally fought his way through the ranks of the demon realm and became the ruler of it. Because he wanted it to have some order to it. And it, like, the whole point to him becoming the demon lord Satan well, I mean, his name is Satan, but you know what I mean. The whole point to him ruling the demon realm is that he wanted it to have order, and he didn't want it to be a fucking wreck like it was. He didn't want what happened to him to happen to people, and the reason he was trying to take over Ente-Isla, I think, Hataraku Maou-sama. Hold on. Let me try to look this up. Why does Mao Ente-Isla? I spelled Isla wrong, but fuck it. Church of Ente-Isla, Ente-Isla. Saint's real reason behind Ente-Isla invasion. Here we go. Yeah. Let me read this. Yeah. He decided to invade Ente-Isla so the humans would generate fear and despair for the demons to feed on. Yeah. Here's something. This is on the Hataraku Maou-sama wiki, but it is in the book. It's just I have a problem with trying to say it right because me and words get along real well. He wanted to conquer the humans, not exterminate them, which is why I said earlier he didn't know Lucifer killed that whole village. He didn't know that happened. All he wanted, because demons don't eat, they feed on fear. Like, they don't need actual food. All of their power and life force comes from the fear of humans and everything, the negative emotions that humans have. He didn't want to kill everyone. He just wanted to rule over them so that the demons wouldn't die, basically. He wanted to save his race. Because that was another thing. The demons were, like, dying, before he took over. And, he never wanted to kill everyone. He just wanted the demons to live. He'd never interacted with humans before. He'd only interacted with Lila, an angel. I hate that this wasn't in the anime because it's so important to him as a character. And it's very important to, like, why everything happened like it has. Why he gives a fuck about the humans in Japan. Why he actually cares about Emmy. And yes, he cares about Emmy. You can gather that from the anime, and you can damn well gather it from the books. Emmy is important to him. He doesn't even know why. One of the things, when you look it up on the wiki, again, this is a pretty big spoiler for the books, I'll get into the plot in a minute, but this is all important to Mao as a character, and I hate that it's not in the anime. He wants to protect Emmy. He can't particularly figure out why, he just knows that he does not want to see her get hurt. He doesn't want to watch the humans die. He does not wish them anything bad. He is not a bad person or a bad demon. He just got that stigma because he ruled over the demons in Ente-Isla and wanted to keep the demons alive. And specifically Lucifer fucked it all up. Okay, now that I've gone off on a 10-15 minute tangent about all that, Mao is very interesting. I think the idea... I think this anime has one of my favorite premises, which is that the devil is not evil. Which goes against literally everything religious, which is that the devil is evil incarnate. Which even Emmy calls him evil incarnate. She's like, this is evil incarnate, when she comes in at one point, to the house, to the apartment that they're living in. But, yeah, he's not bad. He himself has never particularly been bad. There were demons that were actually evil. Specifically Lucifer, who was a fallen angel and just fucking hated everything. But, yeah. So, when you're with that, you can look at the show This is the reason I said it. With that, you can look at the show, and you can look at the books and everything, and actually understand, like, everyone in, all of the people from Isla, especially Emmy and Suzuno, are like, why does Mao care about the humans? Why does he not destroy this world? Why does every time he get his magic, he expends all of it to fix whatever the fuck is wrong with the world at the moment? Whether it be when Lucifer came in and he almost destroyed that well, he did destroy the bridge, but like he almost killed all those people. Or when Sariel came in and he actually killed a bunch of people and destroyed buildings and shit. Why does he waste all of this magic protecting this place? Because in that place, yes, people come from Isla to try and kill him, but no one in that place wants to kill him, and he likes that place. He likes the humans. He doesn't hate them like you would assume that he does. Like, they assume that he does from Isla. Like, Emmy does at first, like Suzuno does at first. It makes you have an understanding of why he is like he is. And that's why I hate that it's not shown in the anime. But I digress. This is talking about the anime. I just talked about the books for 20 minutes. But you know what? Fuck it. It was important. So yeah. You know, you watch him and he is incredibly powerful. He did work up from the bottom to the top of the demon realm. Again, never once said in the damn... Like, for all you know, he was born king of the demon realm. Like, there's no explanation to it. He just is the demon lord. And you're like, why? The answer is that whole backstory. And he literally went from being a wimpy little kid who couldn't do shit to having enough power to make other demons, like, serve him. Which is how the hierarchy in, like, a demon society works. You just become powerful enough that if someone tries to fuck with you, they will die. That's how you become the ruler. And that's what he did. And that's why anytime you see him go into his original form, he is really fucking strong. Because he is really fucking strong. He is literally the most overpowered anime character possible. Because he can create a limitless amount of power in the realm that he's in, which I feel like at some point has to end up happening. Like, at some point he will actually need to do that in some way. Yeah, but I guess in some ways that's the whole point of, like, when he's fighting Sariel and Lucifer comes in and everything, and they fuck up everything and make everyone freak out so that Mao gets power. But I mean, like, still, you get what I mean. There is no limit to him. As long as people are afraid and giving off negative emotions, he has power, and he has a lot of it. Like, a lot of it. But, yeah. Mao is very interesting, just because you can't get how interesting he is, particularly from the anime, and it makes me sad. Ugh. God damn it. Alright, I gave enough talk about Mao, just in that backstory. That backstory is 90% of Mao. Literally. Everything he's done after that backstory is because of that. And, okay, moving on. Let's get into the plot. Oh my god. 50 minutes left, and, haven't even gotten to the plot yet. I'll take a little bit of time on the plot, but I also might rush through it a little bit, because I feel like I've talked about a fair bit of it. It's also very easy to summarize. They drag things out a little bit in the anime, which I now realize after watching it again, after reading the books and everything. It's dragged out a little bit. So, like, in some places they could have definitely not drug it out like that, but, you know, whatever. It's cool. I like seeing it animated. Anyways, episode 1. Mao and Ashia come over from Ente Isla. No, in episode 1, you don't even really see the fight. You just see Mao give this grand speech about coming back for it eventually and leaving. And he comes to the world and, you know, they spend the time getting everything ready and whatnot. Like, they get taken to a police station because they're fucking weird-looking, don't speak Japanese, and are just generally a bit suspicious. And they get taken over there, and, you know, Mao uses a bit of the magic that he has left to learn everything he can about the world at the moment, and figures out some stuff, and presumably learns how to speak Japanese. Because he just kind of starts using it after that. But anyway, you know, he comes along and he does all that. Ashia is Ashia and just tries to serve Mao and fails because, well, Mao had magic, Ashia had none. So, yeah. Goes through all that. It shows, you know, Mao and Ashia filling out, like, forms and stuff, getting everything set up so that they're actual members of Japanese society, and then, you know, Mao gets a job at McDonald's. Yeah, I don't even remember if that was actually in episode 1, where he actually gets the job. I think it was. Not positive. Anyways, basically episode 1 is just, the devil is now a human in a human world, he has some magic, there's probably a way for him to get some more. He now has a job. He is a part-timer. Welcome to the show. And the books. Because it's the same way in the books. But just a lot more detailed in the books, as you can assume. Anyways, continuing on, episode 2 opens up with the showing of Amelia fighting him. Does it show the fight in episode? One of the first 2 episodes shows how Amelia takes off his horn and everything, goes to fight him and whatnot, and then Mao leaves. And Amelia follows, and, what's his name? Olba's supposed to follow her. That's a later thing that you find out, but anyways. Amelia follows, she comes out there, she becomes Emi Yusa, she goes through all that, and I don't remember if it's episode 1 or 2 when they meet, but Mao's going to work, he has Dullahan using the umbrella, and he meets this red-haired girl who he's never seen in his life before, and she's holding her little handbag, purse thing over her head to protect from the rain. He's like, here, have this, I'm literally going like half a block away, I'll be fine, you know, hands it to her, goes away, and, Emmy's obviously goes, oh, okay, cool, and she kind of knew that he was, like, she had some idea that he was Satan in Earth, but when they meet again, it's same place. I'm going over, like, actual useful events, which is why I'm not really talking about him working at McDonald's. Yes, stand-up employee, yay, but most of the actual events are in between then. Most of them. There's one that's actually important, but we'll get there. Anyways, comes back, he's going home, and then Emmy stops him, and he's like, oh, you know, talking to her like normal, and Emmy's just like, drop it, you know, I know you were the devil, and then he just goes, oh fuck, you're the hero, and she pulls out a knife and starts brandishing it at him, and they get pulled into the police office because Emmy, the hero, thinks that it makes sense to brandish a knife at someone else in public. It's great. See, things like that are why I love this anime so much. You know, she comes over and she's doing all that, and then they get taken to the police station, and he sets Emmy off by saying it's the lover's quarrel, and she's like, no, fuck you, it's not, I hate this guy, fuck you. The definition of Emmy, anytime someone goes, oh, do you have feelings for Mao? She's just like, no, fuck you, no, I hate him, he's dead to me. She starts freaking out, she blushes a little bit, and then she's just like, no, fuck you. And everyone's like, yep, say that all you want. You like him. And she does. But anyways, continuing on. That happens. And then I feel like one of the important parts was that Mao and Ashia got a house. Well, an apartment, but we all know that. Anyways, continuing. I need to stop saying anyways, continuing on. Okay. Trying to remember everything, like, in order that it happened. Yeah, that happens. Emmy shows up at Mao's house and is like, sup, fuck you. It's pretty much that whole thing. She just comes in and goes, look, I know where you live now, so be warned. And, I don't know, that part, not particularly important, but, the next thing that happens, which I think is literally the next day, show-wise and book-wise and everything, Emmy goes into McRonald, or a couple of days? Either way, you guys will know what I mean when I get there. Emmy goes into McRonald and is like, hey, I need to talk to you after work, meet me where we first met, okay, bye. And Mao's just, like, trying to make it seem like an actual order, and yeah, it's great. Anyways, so Mao gets off work, goes and meets Emmy, and they get... Is this the right thing? Yeah. I always get confused because I remember Sariel's power being purple, and then I remember that Lucifer's power is purple, which is very confusing to me because I always forget who, like, in what order things happen. So Lucifer is shooting at them with magic, and they freak out and they start running, and Emmy loses her wallet at some point and has to ask Mao to stay the night in the apartment there, and she hates it. Mao's just very, very indifferent in a way. Mao's whole premise with Emmy is just that he's, like, very indifferent towards her. He doesn't... Emmy legitimately hates Mao at first. Mao just goes, you're the hero, cool. And that's it. He's just like, okay, have fun. I'm gonna live my life. I'm not gonna be too bothered by it. But, she stays the night there, freaks out a little bit, goes back home. They show on the news about the shooting, no bullets or anything. And then Mao and Ashi are there. They get, they trace the bike back to Mao, and they get put in jail, I think? Is it jail specifically? I think so, but I'm not positive. Either way, they have to call Emmy to go get them out of there and everything, which you can imagine that she's ecstatic about. Yeah, she was fucking furious about it, and, she comes out and she's like, what the fuck are you guys doing with all that and everything? And then life moves on. Now, throughout this, he's working at McRonald with Chi and everything. Chi likes him, and there's been some earthquakes happening due to sonar pulses from Albert. Not that they know that yet, but that is what caused the earthquakes. And Chi goes, hey, I think there's going to be... She sends Mao a message at night, and she's like, hey, I think there's going to be a relatively large earthquake. Can I talk to you about it tomorrow or whatever? And he's like, yeah, sure, and they go on a date. So they go out on this date, which he calls it a date mostly because Ashia calls it a date. Chi just wants it to be a date. Yeah, rolling with it. It's a date. Go for it. Anyways, they go onto the date. They go into this cafe and they're talking. And then Emmy, because Emmy can't just leave Mao, especially not with a human, decides that she has to follow him after running into Ashia and having a whole conversation with him about shit like that. And like, what are you doing walking around? You look like you're following someone. And he's like, well, yeah. And then she sees Mao and she's like, oh, well, I'm gonna go in there. You follow me. And he's like, what? No. And then he follows anyway because, yeah. He can't just let Emmy walk in. He's like, well, fuck it. You know what? Following. So they go over there. What is it? Mao and Chi are talking. Emmy loses her shit for reasons that I don't remember. Oh, Chi was about to say that she liked Mao. That's what it was. And then Emmy decided to cut into it and was like, Chi, no. She doesn't know her name's Chi yet, but she's like, listen, child, no, basically. And Mao's like, Emmy, will you just fuck off? Like, we are having a normal conversation. Leave. And, you know, Emmy's freaking out and everything on them, and Emmy comes over, freaks out on Mao, and then Chi starts freaking out on Emmy because she's freaking out on Mao, and then Emmy and Chi start freaking out on each other because it just becomes a fucking shouting festival between the two. Yeah. Continues on to where, that happens all the way up until a large earthquake hits, which, again, presumably, from Albert's sonar pulse. I know it says, like, oh, they created the earthquakes to create chaos, but then when Albert comes in, he's like, oh, I bet you guys had a lot of earthquakes from all the, sonar pulses. Maybe the larger earthquake was actually from... No, the larger earthquake was from Albert. Fuck that. That was just coincidence to make it seem like it was Lucifer and Olba. Anyway, yeah, we're good. Continuing on. Damn it, I did it again. Moving along. Let's go with that. Get some variety in what I'm saying here. Yeah, the large earthquake happens, and it focuses on Emmy and Chi, where Chi's like, you know, now having a more normal conversation with Emmy, who's like, I swear to you, there's nothing between me and Mao. I just hate him. And Chi literally goes, okay, I guess I'll believe you for now. Or, I think that's it. I'm pretty sure it's, okay, I guess I'll believe you for now, but I'm not positive. Anyways, goes through that, and then Emmy uses a bit of her celestial force to knock Chi out, because Mao shows up in his normal, like, demon form. Not his human form, he is now in the demon form, and, you know, she's like, oh god, you know, and then she looks around, and no one's hurt, everyone's safe, Mao literally protected everyone, and she's just like, the fuck? She doesn't even particularly know what to do, she's just like, huh? And then, you know, they get out because Mao uses his power to get out and everything, and, life goes on outside. What is it? Emmy's talking to Mao, like, you know, why did you do that, whatever, and he's continues on about whatever, I don't remember what he says, but, Chi comes up and is talking to him and everything, and then they take off, which is the actual important part of that whole scene, both in the anime and the book, it's when they actually go away, but, you know, I think when Emmy and Mao are talking, they do say, like, you know, that was probably from whoever was attacking us. Even though it wasn't, they say it was probably from them. But, you know, life goes on. Emmy meets up with Rika. Yeah, Rika Suzuki, I think is her name. Probably. Yeah, going with it. Is that it? Hold on. I want to get this right. This is a character that I didn't talk about just because... No, I do not count her as a main character. Sucks. You know, yeah, Rika Suzuki. Cool. So, you know, she goes to Rika's place and stays the night and whatnot, and has a conversation with her about stuff that doesn't particularly matter to anything. So, yeah, that happens. Same thing happens in the book. For no reason does it matter, except that, I mean, yeah, character building, which is nice, but it makes more sense in the book than the anime. Personally. Look, if you're gonna throw out anything important about Mao, fuck it, don't show that. Continues on, what is it? What are the order things happening? I don't remember. Look, eventually it comes to a point where Lucifer appears. Somewhere between the earthquake and then, which I think is like the next day or 2 days or whatever, I know what happens. Emmy goes over to Mao's house to talk about stuff, and, you know, Chi comes in and is like, oh god, she freaks out because Emmy is actually at Mao's house. What is it? Emmy came over and she went to walk down the stairs and she got hurt, right? I think that's it. Yeah, because Ashia had to go to the store to get gauze. Not bandages, gauze. And, Mao was trying to help Emmy. And Emmy goes, no, I can handle it, and then she doesn't. Something happened somewhere. Oh, Mao's, like, trying to clean her wounds and everything, right? And she walks in, like, freaks out, and she's like, oh, there actually is something between you two, freaks out and runs away. And then, Mikishiba comes in, and that's where you learn that she knows something about Entei-Isla, because she's like, well, don't you think the effects of the gate and blah-blah-blah bullshit. That whole conversation doesn't particularly matter outside of pointing out that Mikishiba somehow knows about Entei-Isla, whether she be a demon or whether she be a human who just knows. No one knows. Anyways, it is very well shown. Well, you kind of guess that demons come to Earth a lot, because at some point, Ashia says, like, demons could get banished to Earth, which is apparently a thing that happens, but then also, you know, it just seems like some demons or people or something end up in Earth somehow. That's what I get from the anime and the books. People from Entei-Isla, demons from Entei-Isla somehow end up in Earth through reasons unbeknownst to anyone. Anyways, not important. So what is it? Mao and Emmy and all them run off to go see what's up with Chi, and Lucifer takes Chi. Lucifer and Olba meet Mao. They seem like they kill Ashia. Mao freaks out, they all run. Or, yeah, I guess they don't really seem like they kill Ashia. They hit Ashia and they damage him a lot, but I guess even then, it never really seems like they kill him. But, you know, it goes on, and they're all like, well, cool, Olba, Lucifer teamed up. Fucking, I've seen B movies with better script, with a better plot than that, or with a more diverse plot, whatever it was. He said something about B movies, and no, not the B movie, like, B-grade movies. Yeah. Continuing on from that, what all happens? Shit goes down, Mao teleports out, Lucifer comes up and shoots a giant hole through Mao's chest. Everyone freaks out, like, on everyone. Emmy and I think Chiho might have seen it freak out, and they're like, oh god, because Emmy can't particularly do much at the moment that she's aware of. Mao seems very dead, but Lucifer's just creating mass amounts of chaos in wherever they are. I think they were by Hatagaya, or Hanazuka. Either way, he's creating chaos everywhere there, right? And Mao gets power from it, Ashia gets power from it, and they're not dead. Which, yes, to most people would seem like a cop-out, but it does make sense. Because it's not just they're not dead because they're not dead, it's they're not dead because they're demons who feed off the negative energy of humans, and there's a lot of negative energy from the humans around them right now. So yeah, of course they're not dead. They have their power now. Especially for, like, Mao, who had power, some power to begin with. Like, he never expended all of it. He didn't lose all of it, and from what you can gather, he never expended all of it anyway. Well, no, you know he never expended all of it asking the guards about stuff and everything. He just had a limited amount of it. So, yeah, of course they're not dead. That makes perfect sense. It's not just they're not dead because plot convenience, it's they're not dead because of, like, actual reasons based around their powers. Anyways, what is it? You know, they get up, Mao is saving this bridge from falling. Okay, no, now's when Chi wakes up, she looks at Mao and goes, Mr. Mao? And he's like, well, or who is it? Emmy goes, well, you're in this now. she just resigns herself to the fate that, of course, Chi now knows about all of this, and she explains a bit about it to, Chi. Like a bit about Mao and Ashia and Lucifer and herself and everything to Chi and Entesla and whatnot. You know, that's not a lot for a 16-year-old to take on, but fuck it. Explains it anyway, and Mao's just sitting there like, Emmy, will you fucking do something? He's holding up this giant bridge and he's like, this shit is heavy, I'm losing control of it. Fucking hear her up, dude. Which she does. She does actually eventually decide to do her job as a hero. And, you know, she actually takes on the gray hair, which looks awesome. Like, there are two sides to Emmy in my mind. There's the red hair adorable Emmy, and then there's the silver-haired badass Emmy, who is also adorable, but not quite as adorable. A bit more on the badass side. Anyways, goes through that, Ashia, who is now officially back to being Alciel in his demon form, comes in and stands with her and everything. You know, they're showing all that. And then Mao puts the bridge down. Oh, God. This is my, like, favorite part of the anime. It's so great. He comes up to Lucifer, who instantly just dreads everything. Because, again, in the demon realm, you don't just become ruler by luck. You become ruler because you were stronger than everyone else. By a fair bit. And he comes up and is like 2 inches from Lucifer, who's just, like, freaking out. He's like, oh fuck, what have I done? Oh my god. And Mao, who's now Satan in his normal form again, creates just a giant line. He moves his hand back, and behind it just comes a giant line of magical runes. And he hits Lucifer with it, and it is fucking great. I love that scene so much. It's so good. Oh, I love it. But, yeah, he brings his hand back. There's literally miles of magical runes, and he's just like, face your death like a man, you know, and just hits him with it, and it's fucking great. And then, you know, now that one, that is actually, like, they didn't die because they didn't die, especially Olba. Olba didn't die because plot. Lucifer didn't die because plot, but also, you know, Lucifer. Yeah, plot. Cool. See, things like that, that's where it's your, like, stereotypical anime type of thing where, oh, they're not dead because plot. Whereas before, when Lucifer took out the giant hole in Mao's chest, yeah, some people will obviously go, plot, but, like, there was a reason to them not being dead. Magic. Literal magic is why they weren't dead. That their ability to absorb magic saved them. Why Lucifer isn't dead from that giant line of runes that we can assume... I mean, it shows a giant explosion. Why the fuck isn't Lucifer dead? Plot. Why isn't Olba dead? Plot. Why isn't the whole city dead? Plot. Though, I mean, for Emmy and LCL, makes sense. They could protect themselves. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe Lucifer just protected himself. I don't know. Either way, Emmy had already protected Chi, so... It goes through that, and it just goes from the giant explosion to showing, I almost called him Lucio. God damn it. Lucifer, I was playing Overwatch last night, shush. It shows Lucifer and Olba tied up, and, they're all talking and everything, and, And then it shows that Lucifer is now living with Mao. And he calls Emmy, Mao goes, so, you're actually good with this computer stuff. Hey, show me. So they call Emmy, who instantly freaks out because Lucifer is now living with Mao. She's like, well, what the fuck? Anyways, after, I should mention, again, this is important to Mao as a character, which luckily they at least showed this. He does restore all of the places that Lucifer, not Lucio, goddammit, Lucifer, destroyed, and he fixes all of it and restores everything, wastes all of it, or the vast majority of his magic on it, fixes it all up, and is like, okay, you're good now. And, goes on and everything. I need to start talking, I need to vegan up the plot a bit more. Again, you can summarize the plots of the first and second halves of this show with, one sentence. Not particularly hard. Anyways, yeah, so that all ends with that. And then Susanoo moves in next door. Yes, confused. It is the real me. I am actually streaming today. If it wasn't for the fact that I have my friend's birthday party at 5, I would have been doing my stream from 4 to 6. But I had my birthday party, or her birthday party at 5, so, yeah. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, Susanoo moves in next door to them after that. Like, literally the next episode, Susanoo moves in, and Mao's just like, oh, we have a new neighbor now. Cool. And Susanoo basically just impedes on them, but, imposes on them? I don't know. Confused, you don't know this anime? Man. I'd recommend it, which we'll get to in a few once I get through the second half of the anime plot-wise, but, dude, I love Hataraku Maou-sama. Though, if you skip back a bit, you'll know that I've read 6 of the light novels and gave the actual backstory to Mao that the anime should have fucking had, but it didn't. That actually pisses me off a bit that they left all that out. I read that in the books and just went, why wasn't this ever mentioned in the anime? Like, this is important, and then they were like, fuck you. That's why. Probably because you don't know about Lila at all. You know that Emmy's mother is half-angel, but that's well after you know that, and they've shown that Lila might possibly is definitely on Earth. Yeah, continuing on. Damn it, I need to quit saying continuing on. Moving along. This is very unstructured, but oh well. What is it? So, yeah, Susanoo moves in, imposes on them, starts cooking for them, starts doing everything. That's just, like, you see before that she is Crestia Bell. You see her now as Susanoo. You should know that it's the same person. I would hope you did. They don't state it right out right then, but you should know. And, goes through all that. Emmy comes over, Chi comes over, Chi's freaking out. Well, Chi freaks out because Mao brings a bento box to work that's made by Susanoo, and yeah. Emmy just comes over and is like, oh, you have a new neighbor. What? And, misunderstandings arise where Susanoo assumes that Emmy knows that she's from Isla, while Susanoo's actually, Emmy is actually thinking that Susanoo has a crush on Mao like Chi does, and yeah, that all goes well. Move along a few days or whatever, because during most of this time, Mao's just working and doing shit. Ashia's being housewife and Lucifer's being Lucifer. For most of this, it's actually about Emmy and Susanoo, like, properly understanding that they're both from Isla. I mean, Susanoo knows, but Emmy doesn't. So, Emmy takes Susanoo out shopping and is talking about it, and she's like, oh, you're from Isla, and then Susanoo's like, yeah, team up with me, we're gonna kill Mao, and Emmy literally just goes, no. She literally just goes, I'm not going to kill him. And, well, no, that's not the part right then when she says it. Susan was freaking the fuck out, because, like, why won't the hero try to kill the devil? And she's just like, I'm not killing him. It's not gonna happen, get over it. Well, at least she's not teaming up with her to kill him. She doesn't state that she's not killing him yet. Continues on, and then the SFC thing arises where you see Mitsuki Sarue, or Sariel, come in. Well, I think after they were shopping, it shows Emmy walking home, and then she gets Sariel, who you don't know is Sariel. You know he's from Antaisla, but you don't know who he is, because they never actually showed him, comes in and is trying to, as far as you know, kill Emmy, which, yes, he is technically trying to kill Emmy for most of the time, but, he comes in and attacks her at the convenience store. Emmy fights him. You realize that he can somehow, as far as she knows, well, no, she definitely knows that he's diminishing her holy force, or her celestial force is what it's called. She doesn't know why, though, and she's just like, well, better half is fucked for a little while, and, you know, that happens. And then you see Mitsuki Sarue in the next episode, or later on in that episode, either way, come into McRonald, talk to Mao, who's now shift manager, and, you know, again, now this one, alright, I guess in some ways I could understand if you didn't pick up on, but you should have known that he was the same guy who attacked Emmy. That was the point. That they made it kind of obvious without actually having to state it, but I'm sure some people didn't know, which, more understandable than if you somehow didn't know that Suzuno was the same person that they showed in Antaisla. Anyways, what? Oh, my friend messaged me. Anyways, what is it? So, you know, you see Mitsuki Sarue come in, and, while they're at SFC, he does mention Emmy. Men will try to take advantage of people they find vulnerable or whatever, and then it goes to the next day, and Miki sends a bunch of shit from Hawaii. Yes, I know that other things happened between this. I'm just going over important plot details, because there's 15 minutes left, and I still haven't even said what I, like, properly rate the anime and everything. Anyways, so, yeah, he tells Emmy that. Emmy's just like, the fuck you, sleazeball, basically. That's what all of them think about him, for the most part. And then goes on, Miki sends all this stuff from Hawaii, and then Mao's like, well, she wants us to sell it. Yo, everyone, come help. So they all go to this summer bazaar thing, and set it up to be sold. And Suzuno disappears because she's talking with Sariel about killing Mao. And that's what leads to the conversation that Chi and Emmy have with her. They find her and they're like, well, time to go home. And they're like, you know, what's going on? And Suzuno just kind of freaks out on him. She's like, look, we have to kill Mao. Chi freaks, she breaks down. She doesn't freak out. She does freak out a bit, but she's also breaking down emotionally because Suzuno, isn't particularly listening to reason, in a way. And, you know, she's sad because she likes Mao. She does not want Mao to die. And, you know, she's trying to plead for him, and this is when Emmy, steps in and she's like, look, he's not that bad. And Suzuno's like, so you have no intention of killing the Demon King? And she's like, no, I don't. I'm not going to kill him. Fuck you. Not the exact words, but essentially that. She just goes, no, I'm not going to kill him. Get over it, you worthless piece of shit from the church. Again, not the exact words, but that is very well the implications of what, her going, no, I'm not going to kill him. And, you know, Sariel comes in, tries to attack her. Suzuno takes Chi. They go up to the roof. Sariel gets Emmy by defeating her, I guess, and takes her up there, and that's where you learn he's an archangel. He is here to get the holy silver that makes up the better half that Emmy uses. He's like, look, it shouldn't even be with a human anyway. And this is where I said I was going to talk about it with Emmy, but I'll talk about it in the plot. It's called the better half, and I assume that, like, you know, plot-wise, that's because Emmy is half human, half angel. Angel, better half, yeah. Whatever. Anyways, he's just like, look, it is heaven's collective will that we take this back from you. You shouldn't have it. So he tries to take it from her. Mao comes up because he gets a call from Chi's mom, who's like, yo, Chi's not home. And he's like, oh, well, fuck, you know? And then Lucifer calls, and he's like, Yami? Well, no, Susanoo's kind of just flying through buildings in a straight line towards the government building. He goes, cool, I'm out. See y'all later. Goes out, gets up to the barrier by the government building that I assume Sadiel set up, and, you know, breaks it, and Sadiel's just like, Cresty Bell, go. So, Susanoo. Susanoo goes to fight him, and like, to be fair, if she hit the first time, yes, she would have killed him, but Mao dodged. And then Mao starts stripping because he doesn't want to get the uniform messed up. So Susanoo decides to actually act ladylike and, like, blushes and is, like, freaking out, like, what the fuck are you doing? It's great. Susanoo is very cute. Anyways, she swings the hammer at him and, rips off his shirt and proceeds to freak out more, and he's like, look, you're the one who did that anyway. And she then actually attacks him. She hits him, he doesn't dodge, but he doesn't die, so I'm assuming she didn't try to kill him. That is my assumption with this, and he's like, he's there, and she's like, why didn't you dodge? And he's like, look, I didn't have the power to anyway, and, you know, it goes through this conversation of, he's just like, look, you're counting on me too, aren't you? You want me to go, give what's coming to Sadiel, and she's just like, yeah, you're right. And, you know, he starts going up to the top of the building. Olba is meeting up with Lucifer this time after breaking out. Ashia is currently in a state in the hospital where he's... Well, there's not chaos yet. I guess around this time is when Olba is escaping the hospital. He goes and meets Lucifer at Villarosa Sasuzuka, which is where their apartment is. They go off. Lucifer was using Olba this time instead of Olba using Lucifer. They cause some chaos along with Susanoo, who decided that she's going to actually help the devil because fuck heaven and the church. They're douchebags anyway. Goes on. It causes a commotion. Now, Ashia gets up, and it shows like, oh, the demons now have power. Cool. So, Ashio gets up, never shows up in the fight because he forgot his cape, or he had to go get his cape. But, Mao comes in. He gets the power from it after slightly getting his ass handed to him by Sadiel. And he, you know, gets his power back, and Sadiel just gets fucked. Again, Mao has a lot of power. A lot of it. And, as soon as he becomes the actual, like, demon lord form of him again, yeah, Sadiel doesn't stand a damn chance. He just gets destroyed, and it's beautiful. But, yeah, that happens. It goes on, and it tells you that he threw Sadiel into the gate. I did skip the whole, like, beach or amusement park thing, which was somewhat important, but oh well, I don't care that much. Wasn't that important. That just kind of makes Susanoo see that the devil actually cares a bit about the human world, which is part of why she decides to actually help him, I assume. Anyways, yeah. That's just where she sees Mao and is like, oh, he cares. Cool. Continue, move, getting back on track. Let's go with that. Yeah, it shows Mao throwing Sadiel into a gate, which ends up being the like leading to, oh, I skipped the important part of McDonald. Fuck it. During the festival, Mouse sets up a tree and ends up using magic to draw people into the store. This is the only reason I deem this important. The reason, according to Suzuno, the reason Sadael ends up in the fridge or freezer or whatever at McDonald is because Mao has this tree there that has his magic with it and whatnot. So yeah, Sadael gets put there, and then shows Kisuke and everything, and anime ends. Yep. Whole anime. That was it. The only two major battles were Lucifer, which ended in 5 seconds, and Sadael, which ended in 5 seconds. I wish they would have had the Archangel Gabriel arc in there. It makes me very sad that they don't. That's such a good part of the books. It's so great. Anyways, yeah, that's it anime plot-wise. I know I rushed through it a lot after venturing on about the light novels for 20 minutes, but that's... Look, at this point you should expect that type of shit from me. Anyways, let me talk about the ending real quick. There were kind of technically two endings. I think it was the same song, but the first time, like, the song's not bad, it's not my favorite thing ever, but the first few times you see the ending, it is literally just panning over a picture of Chiho in a swimsuit on the beach. Yeah. After that, though, it does actually get a slightly more interesting animation that's kind of cool, but still very meh. I give the ending about a 5, maybe even a 4. It wasn't that great for an ending. Excuse me. But, yeah, 4 or 5 for the ending. Anyways, let's talk about the actual score I would give the anime, and if I would recommend it. You already know I would recommend the anime. I've shit on it a lot because it doesn't have some stuff that I like from the books. But on its own, as an anime, I'll give it an 8. I'll give it a nice 8. I did kind of go into it expecting to give it a 10, and then realize that half of the shit that I remember being really, really good is all in the light novels and not in the anime. If they make a season 2, and it has the Gabriel arc, and it has Lila in it and everything, yeah, that would probably end up being a nice 9, nice 10 if they do it right. If not, well, sucks. So, yeah, I give the anime an 8 overall. I still think it's a very good anime because I do still remember the first 2 times I watched it before the books where I thought, 2 or 3, I don't remember. Look, 3rd or 4th time watching the anime. Every other time was before I read the books. I do remember liking it a lot because it's funny. It's actually an anime that isn't very perverted outside of when Sadael comes in and, you know, the couple of times where Emi's worried about her chest because normal anime slightly ecchi joke that personally I don't find that ecchi really. It's just like, yep. I guess the beach scene is like a the beach episode is a bit fan servicey, but that's in the actual book, like the actual light novels too. It's obviously less fan servicey in that, but anyways, yeah, I'd say it's a good anime. I would say that it's one of my favorite light novel adaptations. You know, I love No Game, No Life last week. I gave that an actual 10, because it's fucking great. I will say, I'll swallow my pride and admit it, Hataraku Maou-sama isn't as good as No Game, No Life, as much as I would like it to be, especially because I've read the books, and it pisses me off that they don't have a lot of shit in there that's actually great. Oh, God. I'm telling you what, after reading those books, like, before I read them, I would have honestly given this a 9. Now that I've read them, I'm like, look, it's an 8. If it had the stuff from the books that I think is really, really good, it would be a 10. But because it doesn't, it went from being a 9, like, I really like this anime, it's enjoyable, that's why it's the only anime I've watched 3 times, 4 times now, and, now it's an 8, because of that. But anyways, it's still a good anime. don't get me wrong, I highly recommend this anime. I love this anime. It's great. The dub is the way, though. Watch it dubbed. If you don't believe me, watch an episode dubbed, and then watch an episode subbed. Or even the other way, probably. Probably will have the same effect. The English voice actor for Mao just does so much better. I don't know why, and I feel like Emmys does too. I just feel like the English voices are better for it, personally. But, yeah. It's like the only anime that I honestly think that. Maybe Spice and Wolf too, but I don't know. I literally watched an episode of that subbed, and I don't even remember it that well. So, yeah. Anyways, I think that's gonna be it, with an 8 for Hataraku Maou-sama and a strong recommendation to watch it, even though I gave it an 8, which is by far the lowest. Well, no. What did I get? I don't know. Boku no Hero Academia Season 1 did not do that well. I think I might have given that one a 6, and then I gave Season 2 like an 8. But, you know, personal preferences. Yeah, I do strongly recommend Hataraku Maou-sama. It's a really good anime that doesn't rely on perverted things to make it good. Like, it's actually just fun. It's cute, it's nice, it's badass at times, it's great. And that's the books, too. Like, the light novels, I highly recommend that if you like reading, and if you like light novels, even if you've never touched a light novel before, read Hataraku Maou-sama. It's really good. Those get a fucking 10. They get an 11 out of 10. They're amazing. Read those. So good. Anyways, let me tell you next week's anime. Next week's anime is Youjo Senki, or the Saga of Tanya the Evil. Unlike with Hataraku Maou-sama, which I've also called The Devil is a Part-Timer, like in the title and everything, it is just going to be Youjo Senki next week, because writing the Saga of Tanya the Evil sucks. So, Youjo Senki next week. It's in the description if you want to copy and paste the name of it. I did put the actual English name in the description I'm seeing, so that's good. But, yeah. That's gonna be it. So yeah, next Saturday, Youjo Senki. It'll be good. I hope to see y'all there, and I guess we're gonna end it with a nice little